Hey! How you doing?
Good.
Good. Hello, I'm Michael. I'm here today with Lollipop and Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming today. I don't know what punking is, and I don't know what whacking is. Could you tell me, please?
The overall dance in the society is called whacking.
Okay.
But you have to have the elements of punking and posing. Those are the main sources to the heart of the dance. Some people whack a little more and only do a little punking and a little bit of posing. Some people like to pose more and do a little bit of whacking, but the dance is all of it. It's like doing locking and you're only pointing and you're not doing any slaps. Or you're not doing a stop and go or a which away. You're not doing a full dance, you're just doing steps. Same with popping. You can pop, but a real popper waves and boogaloos a little. They do a little bit of everything, right? So you have to understand you're boogalooing, you're waving, you're ticking. There's names for it. Punking happens to be an element of the dance for whacking that has a name. And the punking is more behavior and an emotion internally that you're sharing.
And the punking came first,
Punking
right?
first, posing, and then whacking last.
And whacking last.
Right.
And then the punking...
Sorry.
That's alright. You have a little Japanese in there. That's okay. And then the punking itself was actually a derogatory word used
yes,
for
because it was the
describe
70s,
gays.
early 70s, and it was not a good word, and straight people saw gays, and they said, oh, look at that punk dancing and carrying on. So the punk dancers said, oh, that's right, I'm punking, and they made it into a positive. Then the posing was a reaction of the punking. That means you would watch somebody doing their punking, and you would react by going, oh, yes, oh, come on, and do a pose. Then out of the posing came these bigger moves because the guys that were developing the dance started developing bigger moves. So that's where the bigger step came in, and the arms and all that stuff. So you got the whacking, and then you got the punking, right? And then you got the pose. Pose. Whacking is based on being an actor. It's very theatrical. You have to be able to recreate moments over and over within the dance. But you want to keep different emotions. You don't want to always be mad when you're dancing. You don't always want to be happy. You want to show different emotion. You want to move your audience as an actor does. So when you see an actor do a scene, it's not what he's saying, it's how he's feeling. And it makes you go, God, that actor was so good. I mean, he made me laugh so hard, right? Or he made you so sad, wow, I really felt what he was feeling. Well, that, as a whacker, is what you want to do when you dance.
And for the guys that like whacking, what advice can you tell them, or can you give them about
learn the dance,
you know,
and then
looking gay?
do your homework, because when I learned from Tinker and Andrew and all those guys, the original guys that helped create the dance, they gave me homework to do, things to look at, things and questions and asking. So you have to look at silent films, you have to look at old movies, but look at the men instead of the women. The gays were looking at the women, so if you're masculine, you want to look at the men, right? So you look at like Rudolph Valentino in a silent film, he's like, everything's kind of overdrawn almost, right? Kung Fu. The attitude of a Kung Fu fighter or martial art period, I took it for 2 years, they do that. Very serious, you know, all of a sudden they're doing these moves, blocks and stuff. So you can use that as a man. And then you got your Clark Gable. You know, he's just a really cool guy. How he used his clothes and how he stood. You have to change that with making it dance movement with the same behavior. So if a man is upset, they're going to be like, what? Right? But you don't have to say the words. You just give the look. And then, oh, you see something that makes you pleasant, or something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, and you adjust your clothes because you're getting shy because of a beautiful girl. So you have to use all those elements as behavior, everyday behavior that people do. Like if somebody gets drunk, as they're drinking, you see the change of their behavior. So somebody's natural, and they're, oh, and then they start to drink, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I just love you, nah. So that bigger part, like a man, when he drinks, how do they get? Very
aggressive.
Out there,
yeah.
Aggressive,
yeah.
And they're like, oh, come on, dude, you know, oh, come on. You know, that's all part of the dance.
Right.
That's what bunking is.
Okay, thank you very much.